a little weekly recap video. Today we will talk about, is Highcraft mining now really falling? What the fuck is NIO doing? Is plug power now going up? Is fuel cell now really running to the upside? Is Genius Group Limited, GNS, really finished, or does it still has to go lower? What the fuck is Blink charging BLNK doing? And then we also talk a little bit about Bull, UNITYSOFTWARE, and because someone wished that I have to look at NVAX, we will look at NVAX too. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, I'm using this method here. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method. So, and again, before we start, if you watch the market on Friday, we saw SPY opening 0.60% up, then knifing down, and in the end bouncing again. But in the meantime, all the other stocks we are tracking on this channel just said, we don't care. We just go up. So I really think most of them really found the bottom last Friday, and we have a lot of green in the next weeks. Will be interesting. Okay. So we start with Highcraft mining. It's perfectly tracking. I mean, if you're bearish. But okay. Jokes aside, as always, you don't have to track it with my method. You can also do it with not synchrony. What was the word? Symmetry checking, where you just take this bar pattern here, flip it on this side, and track it from right to left. In that case, it's quite one-to-one. We are looking for this pullback. If it's one-to-one, it's something around $3. I don't think we go that low. With my tracking, well, I already said in November that I'm looking for this peak here on December 5. Well, and we got it on December 23rd. Shit. 2 days too early. But okay. For my tracking, this whole thing is one fractal. We got our V on November 15. We did a higher low, and we already did our A. I really think this was our peak. And the next thing is we have to pull back to the 0.5 from our low to our peak. Means our next target is $7. Just be careful, because if history is repeating, we are looking for this movement here. We would be maybe right here right now, or already right here. Back then we had a gap down. We went up again, and then we knifed. We already had here a gap down here, but a small one. So I can't really be absolutely convinced that this was already the pullback. Maybe. We could still see a little run. As long as we are not breaking $30, this is our lower peak. And our next move is still back down to the 0.5. So still back down to $7. After that, if you don't want to play short, your next target is B, up to $80. Because of the past, I don't think we have to do a pullback here, because we didn't do that here either. So maybe we just go sideways, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Right now, this thing is still absolutely tracking perfectly. Okay. Next one is NIO. One bullish, one bearish version. Both of both versions. This means we already did our macro A, we already did our macro B, our next move, or we are already in macro C. So first, the bullish version first, because I'm not bullish. Both are bullish. Okay. For the bullish version, that means somewhere in here, you already did your V. You already did your high low. You broke out of this trend line. You did your A. And we are right now in the A pullback. For the bullish version, means you have your C, your top, your A, your lower high, your small m, and somewhere in here, this one has to be a small t. Looks shit, because it most likely is shit. But in that case, you have your 0.5. You bounced on it, means you most likely already did your little micro high or low. You did your micro A. In that case, you should go up. My time frame for this is January 12 to January 22. Your next target should be 16. So maybe already January 12 and January 22 is already the pullback. No? Why I'm not thinking that? Yeah, because first of all, this T is lovable. It's just nothing. I still think this was our T. And in that case, you will fall till January 12th. And you will fall to 437, the V under A. And then you will go up. Why? Because normally I'm saying A is doing a 0.5. NIO is a special case because if you look, you have your V, your high low, your big A, your head and shoulders. We already did that in 2020. V, high low, A, head and shoulders, V and A. So I think still we are somewhere here in this range. That's why. For levels, well, everything over 622, forget the alternative. Everything under 473, we will do that. Yeah, pretty easy. Okay, next one, plug. Also, bullish and bearish. We start with the bearish one because it's the unlikely one. In that case, this is the first factor till March 2013. And since then, we are doing the higher low of this. And for the bearish version, it's not finished. And our last peak in October 6 was just our T. In that case, we still have to really fall in this place here. Something between 30 to 15 cents, but you're not allowed to break under 11 cents. Yeah? Just for the unlikely bearish alternative. For the bullish version, we have two cases. So, first one, the case I like more. Yeah? In that case, you have here your V, your little higher low, and this whole thing is A. The only thing is we are under the trend line and we didn't get really a higher low. Yeah. But for the bullish case, this was A. And this A pullback would be already finished. Here is your 0.5, and we bounced on it. We would be right now in the tiny higher low. This is the tiny higher low. For this, it has to be finished. This has to be already V&A, and you should already be in the bounce. In that case, I had the price target at the time frame 26th of December till February 5. So in that case, your next target is, where is it? Yeah, B at $31. So you really should start going. For the alternative, which if I look more and more, I like just more. We don't had a higher low. In that case, this whole thing is a higher low. To finish this higher low, this is not A, it's higher low, and you will fall till February 5 to your V under A, which is at $1.02 till February 5, and then you go. Then your next target would be, if you don't want to break under this trend line again, way too many lines here. What the fuck? You would go up. This would be your A, around $15, $16. Breakout retest. Then you go to your B. Yeah, I like this more just because we didn't got a high low, but for levels, as I said, everything over $3, forget the alternatives, we go up. Everything under 166, we will do this. And if we break even lower and everything under 86, we will do the all-time lows. But I'm looking at this every day. I will update it. Let's see if we get an answer in the next weeks. Okay, next one, Fuser. Here our bullish chart for Fuser. Again, this till July 2025 is one fractal. We are already in the new one. And again, for levels, our next macro A would be 880 and our macro B would be 20,000. You won't see that without a split. If you don't get a split, you won't break over this yellow trend line and you will die from here. But who cares? Would be still 800-ish, something like that. So what did we do? Perfect example for all other stocks. We fall with our LMT into our V and A. Since then, we did our perfectly high low under the trend line. We ended it with a V and A. We broke out. We did our A. We did our A pullback. Perfect breakout retest. This time it was a 0.618. And also from this, we broke out and added a little micro higher low. Yeah? And in an in an after hour session, we also finished this with a perfect V&A and bounced. I really don't have an alternative here anymore. I know you always should have one, but in the best case, we will just go up. Go up to where? Well, it would be something around 165 for B. And again, we are taking this path pattern. This pullback went a little bit lower than expected, but still we would be here. This is the next move we should see. From where did I got this path pattern? Well, from 2020, 2019. And in that case, we would be in this section here right now. Yeah. So maybe we do now stupid sideways, but in the moment we're getting a gap, that's confirmation for upside. Time frame wise, I'm looking for this So for this June, October, but only because this is so huge. Yeah. This could even take 1 year. I still think we should get this little peak here before summer. Let's see. Okay, next one, GNS. Here the GNS tracking, also 2 versions, except the bearish one where we delist. Yeah. But April 2025 was ended with the first fractal. Since then, we did 2 versions. First, the bearish one. With the bearish one, this whole thing is just higher low. Not A, it's higher low. Yeah. In that case, this was our A, here's our B, this is our C. In that case, our last peak on Friday, November 28, was our T, and we still have to come lower than 30 cents. And in that case, my time frame is February 12, February 25. We would fall back down here, doing a micro higher low, and most likely February 26, we see the massive run. Why? Only because if you look back on GNS, we always did a V higher low run, V higher low run, V higher low run. We never really had an A. Yeah. So I would have expected V, if this is our little higher low, that we should already be running. But we didn't. Against that is standing that this technically is a perfect higher low. We are over the trend line. So this is technically a perfect A. In that case, let's look. In that case, this A pullback is finished on Friday 21st. Because we're taking 0.5, we fall under the 0.5, we bounced on it. And since then, we're just adding a little higher low, which on Wednesday 31st was our V. So maybe we're adding a little higher low, but in the best case, we should already get our peak on February 12th. Wherever it be, we should start running up. February 12th is already pullback. Yeah. Let's see what the next weeks are giving us. Yeah. It's not looking bad. And I have this alternative where we still have to go lower than this, just because to have an alternative. Okay, next C3I. Here again, like Highcraft mining, you don't have to use my version or my method. You could also take this path pattern, flip it on this side, and read it from right to left. In that case, you would be somewhere in here still. For targets, whenever this is finished, your next target for A would be 30. For B, it would be 36 to 39-ish, somewhere in here. And then the only question is, are we breaking this last peak? And are we confirming we're doing this W? With my tracking, I have to go on a lower time frame, even lower. Yeah. We already did our low peak, MT, perfect, did our V&A on Friday 21st. Since then, we're doing a higher low. And also this should be finished on Friday the 2nd, so last Friday. And technically, we would be finished and going up. Thing is, fractals normally are repeating themselves, so in that case here, I still think we are here. So we could still add another higher low before we go. Yeah. So this could still take some time. Levels wise, if you break below 1326, that would be bad. And we still would need to look for a new low. Everything over 70.44 is bullish. Everything over 2018 and forget the alternatives to the downside. Wherever we go, I think the start of the next move is February 6th. Yeah? Up or down. We have to see. Okay, next one. Bull. Here is our bull chart. So for bull, this is one fractal, ended in Friday the 1st in November. Since then, we did a higher low. And with Wednesday the 31st in December, this higher low is finished with a V&A. My time frame is February 4th to February 17th. So in the best case, we should be in A. Or in the best case, we should be already in C then. Yeah? But for normal tracking, your A would be around 18, 17, and you just would go up, get your peak on February 4th, and get your pullback February 17, and then your next target is B at 33, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs? For the alternative, this would mean that this is nothing. You will fall and breaking 767, and you find your new all-time low wherever it is, because we don't have anything here in February 4 doing the higher low till February 13 or 17, and then you go. Don't see that yet. Only problem is IPO isn't giving us anything, because it's just a straight line. Technically, we finished everything. Our low high, our midpoint, our T, now our V&A, we are creating a higher low. So as long as this higher low is holding, it looks bullish. Yeah. For levels, yeah, everything over 1030 is bullish. Everything over $12 is confirmation. Yeah, we just have to wait. But also, I think we should get in the next weeks our answer for that. Okay, next one is BLNK. So, two versions for this. All in all, these are three fractals. First one, second one, third one. I will start with the bearish version. The bearish version would mean that the second one is not finished yet. The last peak was T, and for T, we have to break below where it started. The only stupid thing is, if you look closely, we did that. We did that Tuesday, December 30. We are lower where the T started, and we bounced on it. But still, for the bearish version, this is not enough. You will fall down, not that low, that's way too low. Something 30, 40 cents, doing a higher low, and then you go. Yeah? We would be somewhere in here, in these 2 points. Finding the low, higher low, this would be the next move. I'm showing this because it broke my no-no line. And I have these lines for a reason. Yeah, for me, it went too low. But to say this, technically, this T is finished. And we bounced on it. So, for the bullish version, this was your V. So my time frame is January 9th. That's next Friday. to January 20. I think in the best case, you're doing a high low till next Friday, and then you go. Yeah. For levels, if you break below 63, you're going to new all-time lows, of course. But if you break over 143, it's upside. How would that look like? Well, where is it? It would look like this. That's the stupid part. Yeah. Your next level. So if this was T, if you're doing a little higher low, your next level would be for a something 687, 6.47, just because 0.5 breakout retest, and then 26. And if you look at this, yeah, perfect. Up, down, up. Let's see. I'm 50-50 right now. I'm really 50-50. It looked way better a few weeks ago. This drop was just shit. Yeah. So let's see what the next weeks are giving us. Okay. Next one, UNITYSOFTWARE. Everyone is so bullish on this. I mean, I'm bullish too. Just not in the short future. This whole fractal is finished with August 7, 2024. Since then, we did a higher low. We broke out. We did our A. Just for to be transparent, I thought earlier this was our A, but we broke out again. But right now, I'm still convinced this is our A peak. So now we need the A pullback. To where? Well, from our low to our peak, here's our 0.5. So $25 is our target. And this here could already be a lower peak. So you would have to come down, up M, down, up T, and then you go to your 0.5. After that, it gets interesting. I mean, you could also play this with the put side if you want, but after that, your target is 108 for your B, and that's something you could really play. If it comes all like that, you will come up here, do your 0.5 pullback to 52, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Okay. Last thing, NVAX, because someone wanted me to track NVAX. I like you. No, just joke. But the thing is, I was sitting here for 2 hours and working on this shit. Really, it's hell. For tracking, it's really, really. Thing is, after 2 hours, I still don't have the fractal is bullshit. This stock is hell. The main problem for this is you have here your highest point, here lower point, and here higher point again. So my first idea was, okay, perfect. You have your C here, your lower high here. This is your midpoint, your T. You fall down to your lowest part, and this would be A. Only problem with this is a lower low. So that's not working. So the only thing I could say, this was C. But this big fractal is suddenly pushed into this little one. Isn't making sense for me. So I still have to work on the macro part. For the micro part, I tracked it completely through. So for the micro part, it's always doing the same. And that's why I think you wanted to play it, because you always have your A, your B, your C, lower, high, midpoint T, fall to your V. High, low again, A, B, C, lower, high, midpoint T, V. This is dream tracking. This is easy. V, high, A, B, C, lower, high, midpoint T, V and A. Perfect. The same again. The same again. The same again. So for this, it's nice. The only thing I still can't get is the macro thing. Really, where are we? Are we in big A, big B, big C? Even after 2 hours, I still can't give an answer to you. For the short future, well, we got here our all-time low. We did our high low, clearly a C. Since then, lower high, midpoint T, and again a V. In that case, this could be already a higher low. A higher low to this big thing. So we added a micro higher low now. The last part we did in the last months. For this is your V, this is your higher low, this is your A, with the A bottom here at $6, your B, your C. You did your lower high already. The only problem, and here comes the only problem, I don't think it's finished yet. Yeah. Because this here is nothing. Yeah, this is nothing. So your A is down here. So you're ready. In the best case, let's look on the 4 hour. Yeah. In the best case, this was your L. This is your M. M is finished, but you still have to do your T. And you still have to come lower than this. And do your V under A at $6. Then you can go again. Yeah. I will try to find something for this in the next days, next week, to clarify where we really are. But this stock is hell. I can understand why you want to play it, but for tracking, this is so yeah. Thank you. Okay. I think I have everything. Okay. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have questions or wishes, feel free to write it into the comments. Just please, not something like this again. I will put the explanation video here. Playlist comes here. And if you want to see more videos, here's the abo. Let's see what we get next week. See ya.